Hello, I'm Olga, and in this video I invite you to spend some time with me walking around Moscow. I'll show you some interesting places, tell some fascinating facts about the city. Let's start. My trip starts from Borovitskaya metro station. You see the great dot on the circle in the middle of the picture now? It's Borovitskaya metro station. Here I am standing at the street intersection Znamenka and Volkhonka. It's the neoclassical Pashkov mansion house. Now it belongs to the Russian State Library. Looking at this walking, you learn new Russian words. You can imagine how the aristocratic walls were held there. Music was playing. Ladies danced in old-fashioned dresses. I'm planning to visit this building on excursion. It's possible to have a free visit to this building when you have a reader ticket to it. The depths of the Vagankovsky hill under the Pashkov house are considered to be one of several possible locations for Ivan the Terrible's legendary library. Now you can see the monument to Vladimir the Great, who converted to Christianity in 988 and baptized Kievan Rus. The opening ceremony was held on the 4th of November 2016. Now you see the Borovitsky Gate, which is used by the Russian president's motorcade. I found a video when Putin's motorcade was leaving the Kremlin. Our president uses not cars only. Here is the video of president's helicopter. It looks really impressive against the background of the big Moskvoretsky Bridge, the Kremlin Towers and St. Basil's Cathedral. Pay attention to the Kremlin stars. On the Borovitsky Tower, the distance between the star beams' ends is 3 meters and 20 centimeters and weighs about 1 ton. Despite of such an impressive weight, the stars rotate like a weather vane.
Я могу под окнами мечтать, я могу, как книги,
It's Водовозная Tower.
и заветный свет
Look, it's so magnificent.
и манят, они, как люди, смотрят на меня. И заветный свет хранят, и волнуя, и маня, они, как люди, смотрят на меня. Я любуюсь вами по ночам, я желаю окна счастья вам.
From this point, the Ivan the Great Bell Tower is clearly seen. It's hard to believe that it was the tallest building in Moscow in ancient times. Its height is 81 meters. I really enjoyed my long walk in Repensky Garden. This place is also known as Bolotnaya Square. In summer, there are many Russian and foreign tourists here. It's not possible to walk in silence. It's not comfortable to walk in cold because you can't relax on the bench and the fountains are not running. Here we see a monument to Ilya Yefimovich Repin, a famous Russian artist. It is located opposite Lushkov Bridge, and if you cross the bridge, you'll see the Tretyakov Gallery, which has many Repin's pictures. Bolotnaya Square means swamp square. This is the execution place of Stepan Razin and Yemelyan Pugachev. And it's interesting to know that Pugachev was the last person who was executed here. This is a sculpture composition Children are Victims of Adult Vices. The monument consists of 15 sculptures. There are two blindfolded children in the center, and we see books at their feet. There are Russian folk tales and fairy tales by Alexander Pushkin. Children's figures are surrounded by sculptures of monsters, representing the adult vices or evils of the modern world. Drug addiction is depicted as a bald man with bent wings offering a syringe. Prostitution is depicted as a woman with the head of a frog. Theft is depicted as a man with a boar's head carrying away a bag of money. Alcoholism, ignorance, pseudoscience, propaganda, sadism. An empty pillory represents the forgotten victims of repression, the exploitation of child labor, poverty, war. Indifference stands in the center of the composition and is shown as a many-armed figure, both deaf and unseen. I think this is a very realistic monument with a deep meaning. There are trees of love on Lushkov Bridge. The newlyweds hang locks on them. It's such a tradition to hang a lock for a wedding. The newlyweds pronounce an oath of loyalty and love to each other. The key with which they close the lock is thrown into the river. Iron trees were placed here so that newlyweds would not spoil the bridge by hanging locks on its railing. In summer it's wonderful here. Fountains are beaten out of the water near the bridge. It's winter now, and nothing is working, but I have a photo. This building is the new museum complex of the Tretiakov Gallery. There are seen some famous paintings stored in the main building of the Tretiakov Gallery. In the distance, you can see a monument to Peter the Great. It's about 100 meters high. I crossed the bridge and there is a reconciliation bench on this side. It's me on the reconciliation bench. I'd like you to spend the rest of the day in the company of Sergey Esenin, one of the greatest and beloved Russian poets of the 20th century. This is Sergey Esenin Museum in Moscow. Esenin's father lived in this house for about 30 years. This house is the only official address of Esenin in Moscow, where the poet not only lived, but was also registered. The poet lived here from 1912 to 1913. The building was renovated, only the foundation remained the same since Esenin's time. The museum was opened here in 1995, on the occasion of the 100th anniversary of the poet's birth. I came to the museum before closing and spent about half an hour there. The museum is small. The absence of other visitors allowed me to take a leisurely look at everything and feel the creative Esenin atmosphere. It consists of a small room in which the atmosphere of that time is restored. Here are some things belonging to Esenin: a small chest and this pillow embroidered by his mother. This little pillow is called Dumachka. Думать means to think. It's comfortable to lie on it and to contemplate. The tray on the table belonged to Benislavskaya, who loved Esenin selflessly and hopelessly. She committed suicide on his grave on the first anniversary of the poet's death. In the museum, the emphasis is made on the Moscow period of Esenin's life. There are sketches of poems, notes from newspapers, photographs of the poet from different periods of his life displayed on the walls of the museum. As I said, the museum is tiny. You can get around it in 5 minutes. It will take a little more time to look at all the photos. The museum can be visited free of charge only on the third Thursday of each month with an electronic ticket. It can be issued on the museum's website. I'll leave a link to the museum's website under the video. The ticket price is 300 rubles without the tour. I had planned a visit to the theater that evening. The play Hooligan Confession, directed by Sergey Bezrukov and starring him.
Плюйся, ветер, охапками листьев! Я такой же, как ты, хулиган!
I had an idea to watch this performance for a very long time and finally decided not to postpone what I wanted anymore. I liked the play very much. It was gorgeous. Maybe I'll visit it once more someday. I am very pleased spending the evening like that. Thank you for keeping my company and watching the video to the end. Goodbye.
Плавно по небу скользит, там за рощей по дороге раздается звон копыт. Скачет всадник загорелый, крепко держит повода. Увезет тебя он смело в чужие